people don't want to read text. So you can put a video on your website. That's going to be good for people. And then have some text around it. That's going to be good for the search engine. So you get that balance of making sure people are happy and also making sure Google is happy.
Welcome to the Entail AI podcast, where we go behind the scenes with top marketing leaders and innovators who are driving growth for their brands. Today, we are lucky to have Brandon Leibowitz, SEO expert and entrepreneur who started in the marketing game in 2007. Since then, Brandon has created his own company called SEO Optimizers, where he and his team help businesses build their reach and optimize for conversion. Let's explore his expert insights to take you from engagement to closing the sale.
Okay, so I'd like to speak to you today about the SEO conversion funnel. How do you bring people from the point where where your content gets exposure on Google, you get impressions, you're getting clicks, you bring people to your website, and then eventually converting them. And also in regards to content creation. So what I mean is, with many websites, if it's a local service, and then somebody wanting to rank for pest control or locksmith or anything like that, or if it's even a tech company trying to rank for like the product search that they do, DevSecOps or whatever, then you have the main pages that are supposed to drive conversions. Usually the homepage, the product pages, the feature pages, etc. But if the company is doing SEO right and they're creating good content and then they're generating traffic, at the end of the day, most of their content pages are usually like articles, or most of the pages that drive traffic are usually content pages, article pages, and those don't necessarily convert. So that's what I want to focus on today. And so what do you think? How do you structure that in terms of like how do you decide which pages to structure as conversion pages and which pages are more like top of the funnel, driving awareness, driving traffic to the website?
I would say every page should technically be optimized for conversions. So you want to try to maximize the value of every visitor that comes to your website, even if it is a blog post. You could still have call to actions and link out to products or services that you have, and just try to somehow get people to read your content to make it seem to flow naturally, and then have your call to actions placed in there where it doesn't seem like you're forcing them. But I would try to put them all over the website, not just leave it to the homepage or product pages or service pages, but every single page technically should be somewhat optimized for conversions, because people are going to come into your website through a variety of different pages, and you have different call to actions. Maybe you have exit intent pop-ups to try to capture email addresses and just try to maximize that value of every visitor.
And when creating content for a website, do you think businesses today should focus mostly on written content or more on video content? And what type of content is the most important right now to focus on?
For SEO, Google loves text. So text is always going to be Google's preference, but people don't want to read text. So you can put a video on your website. That's going to be good for people. And then have some text around it. That's going to be good for the search engine. So you get that balance of making sure people are happy and also making sure Google is happy. But Google really struggles with videos and images. They're getting much, much better at it right now, but they still struggle to understand what it's about. So they need that text. And the more text you put, that's original content, the easier it is for search engines to read, understand, and know what keywords you're trying to rank for.
I wonder how long Google can keep on focusing mostly on text, because they're good at it, right? But when you see what content people consume today, especially the young generation, they're moving more and more to TikTok, and not just TikTok, basically all of social media, and over there, we're all consuming mostly video, not just video, but mostly video. Short, long, medium length, all types of videos we're consuming all the time. And so I wonder how long Google can still prioritize, blue links and text, in their search results, and how it's going to affect them. I actually think that one of the reasons for that is that it's easier for them to monetize text results compared to video. I think they're making much more money from search than YouTube. And YouTube is also a search engine, right? But on Google, you're used to clicking a link, like there's search results and you're clicking a link. That's the behavior. That's what you're used to there. And when you go to YouTube and you search for something, or you just go and you discover something, that's also an option. I use it a lot like that, like in discovery mode. You're clicking on a video to watch a video. You're not in the state of mind where you want to click on a link to go somewhere else. I think that's one of the main reasons why advertising on Google works so well, because you say exactly, like you type in exactly what you want, and if you find an ad that's very relevant and very similar to the organic results, which you can trust, then you click on it, right? And so I think it's a very different frame of mind compared to YouTube. It seems to me like it's going to be more and more challenging for them because obviously they have competition now from ChatGPT, which everyone speaks about. We speak about the competition that they face from TikTok. I think they're going to have to make their search results more and more like social media, more and more like video oriented. And I wonder how they're going to do it because it may affect their business model, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they already include video sometimes in the search results. So when you're searching on Google, you might see videos appear. Majority of the time, those are going to be YouTube videos. So they're pushing that because they know people want that video sometimes, but it's not always there. We'll have to see what happens in the future, how they change search engine, because it's always constantly evolving and they're always tweaking it and changing it to make it a better user experience. But right now, they still heavily focus on the text websites. Sometimes we'll put images, videos, sometimes we'll put products and maps in the search results, but still the main focus is those websites, those clickable text links.
Yeah, I think, I have a feeling like they'll have to, at a certain point, maybe compromise a bit. They'll have to create a better experience. Like you say, there's other elements in the search results page, right? Not just blue links and text. There's like, if you Google like a celebrity or a city, you get images, maps, Wikipedia, like different widgets. You can offer, if it's like a movie star, you'll get like the latest movies there or the movies they created, they appeared on. I don't know, their IMDb profile perhaps, or like their social profile. So Google changes the search engine results page based on the type of search. And I think they're going to have to do more and more like to incorporate content from social media, not just from websites. I think they'll have to like index social media because they're not going to do another Google Plus. They're not going to do another like social media platform, right? What they excel at is search. So they can index social media and show you better results from all across social media. And at the end of the day, when you search for something, you can have a kind of a feed with the best content to the search that you made. So I think it can be like more of a variety of content there and not just articles from your blog. Which brings me to my next question. I strongly believe that Google will have to take that approach, like I said, incorporate content from more and more sources into their search results. You can start seeing that if you play around with the Gemini, you can start seeing like how sometimes they show more videos there, or even and some of the answers I got, it was even like a video from TikTok, right? Like they use it as a source of information, which is crazy. But then, for that reason, I think that website owners should start thinking about how to create content like for multi-channel, not just for their blog and so on. What do you think of is really the importance of building a multi-channel strategy rather than just writing content for your blog?
Well, you want to get traffic from as many different sources as possible, and you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So the more places you get traffic, the better off you're going to be. So having a presence on having your own website is great, but then having a presence on social media is very, very important. Try to figure out where your audience is at. Try to figure out what platforms they're going to be active on. Because you don't need to be on every platform, but you need to be where your audience is. So picking and choosing. Otherwise, you're probably going to spread yourself too thin. And trying to be everywhere is really tough. So I really focus on where your core audience is and try to focus on that. But having those multiple touch points through social, if you could get email addresses, collecting them, that's always really helpful because email, you got full control of all that. And that's something that you own, whereas social media, you don't really get full control on these platforms. So you're just kind of renting space off of them. But if your audience is there, you definitely need to be there.
And in terms of like content creation and repurposing content, how can companies leverage also like AI today, like tools for like creating content from multiple channels, not just their blog?
AI is really good at writing content. So it's not the best at having accurate content, but it can write really good content. But the thing is, it's not really accurate. And Google and the other search engines said almost a year ago that we don't care who writes the content as long as it offers value, because we can't tell the difference if it's AI or human written. So it's got to make sure that whatever you put out there is accurate, which right now it's not fully accurate because AI does what are called AI hallucinations. And if it doesn't know the answer, it just makes it up without telling you, which I feel like they should let you know that they don't know the answer and they're just making stuff up, because a lot of people are going to put out incorrect information on the internet and it's going to be a bad user experience. But as long as you put content out there that's accurate, then that's not going to do any harm. And you could use AI to make images and videos. And I haven't done too much with the videos, but The images, they're okay. They're not really the best right now, but in the future, the more people that use it, the better it's going to get. And the more that you can really just take that content from AI and use it, repurpose it, share across the web, and maximize that visibility and exposure to get people to your website.
I think I must tell you that I'm actually quite surprised with the capabilities of the image generation. We use it quite a lot now also on our website, and it really simplifies the design work very much compared to what it was before. In our designs, we like to use like a lot of images of people as well to make the design more human and then more relatable and so on. And so it's not just technical, they're just showing screens of the software and so on. Like we want to show also people. And usually if you want to show people, you either if you're a big company, you may have like photo shoots and so on, or you just buy footage, or you go and you get it from Shutterstock, for example. But nowadays with AI, you don't need to go on a photo shoot, and you don't need to get images from Shutterstock and like waste hours there, like searching for the perfect image, and then also like try to remove the background or whatever. You can just get it from Midjourney. Our designers are doing a very good job with that. I mean, with just using like creating images of people in the right setting, or the right I don't know, taking the right action that they want to show in the design. It's really, really helpful. So I was like really surprised with how well it works for these purposes. It's not for everything, and it's usually we use it as part of the design. We don't just design the entire image with that. So I use like a person with another element and all that, and all this together looks good. So it's really about how the designer uses it. But again, back to so we covered like content creation and so on. We want to speak about the SEO conversion funnel. So what do you think in terms of mapping the customer's journey across different touch points on the website? I mean, it's one thing when a customer lands on your homepage because they were just searching for your brand. Usually they're quite ready to buy if they're searching for your brand, as opposed to somebody who's just reading an article on your blog, or somebody who saw a video on social media and then clicked your bio link or something like that. So what do you think in terms of mapping the touch points? Do you just use Google Analytics for that, or what do you think are the best practices for that?
Yeah, Google Analytics is pretty good for that. It's a free tool from Google that will show you where your traffic's coming from. Then I have Google Search Console for SEO, but that doesn't really map out the journey. That just gives you SEO insights about what keywords you rank for, if there's any errors on your website, things like that. Google will let you know in the Search Console, but Analytics is a great tool to try to see how people come into your website, and you can watch them, where they go, what pages they visit, how long they stay on your website, and things like that to just help you see where drop off is, and then try to fix those areas where people drop off, or you see areas that people are converting, trying to figure out what's working and incorporate that into the rest of your website. But without analytics, it's really tough, because then you're just kind of guessing, and the data's all there. You just have to tap into it and utilize something like Google Analytics, or if you want to use another third-party tool, that's fine, but you have to track everything. If you're not tracking, you're not going to be able to make statistically informed decisions to really maximize that value of each visitor and really see what's working and what's not working.
And what metrics do you usually measure across different channels? Is it just page views, or like what people are clicking? What do you usually measure?
For my own website, try to measure conversions, clicks, traffic. It's not really the best. Traffic is okay, but doesn't really mean anything if it doesn't convert. So trying to track conversions if possible, trying to track people calling you if you want people calling you, or if you have a form, try to track form submissions if you're e-commerce, tracking sales, but trying to look at conversions versus just traffic or time on site or bounce rate and things like that.
How do you set this up, like in terms of tracking conversions, and how do you set up the goals and the KPIs that you want to reach in terms of conversions? I mean, probably every website is kind of different, right?
Yeah, it just depends what type of website you have and what the client is. If they want to track how many people sign up to their email list from a pop-up, then we'll track that. If they're e-commerce, we'll track the sales. If it's a service-based business, we'll track leads or phone calls, or people clicking on their email, sending emails out to them. So every website's going to have unique conversions, but for the most part, just if you're e-commerce, we're going to track sales. If you're a local or service-based business, we're going to track those leads. usually, but there's always going to be little nuances where we got to change it up for each client.
Okay, I think this pretty much sums it up. I mean, the questions that I wanted to discuss. So yeah, thanks, Brandon. Thanks very much for joining and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you for having me on today.
Thank you for listening to the Entail AI podcast. Join us next time for another masterclass when we sit down with a marketing luminary to reveal their path to success.